Peace, peace, peace. Welcome to another episode of Wise the Dome. Today I have a very special guest, man. He's a great MC, great storyteller, paints great pictures with his bars. I am God out of Chicago, all capitalized. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you for coming through, G.
I appreciate you for having me. Much love. Salute to homie Rakeem Shabazz. We in here, man.
We
Ready
in
to
here. We in here, man. And so I like to take it back from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? For those that maybe just tapping in with what you're doing, the last year or so, how long you been rhyming?
Man, I've been rhyming for at least 20 plus. I'm 35 right now. I'll be 36 in a matter of months. I probably started rhyming around like 10, 11. I
Mhm.
probably started taking it serious as in something that I wanted to do for a living around 14, 15, somewhere around there. And I ain't really get decent until around 16.
Mm.
Yeah, so yeah.
So yeah, that's another thing. Like, and so you're beginning to get acclaim, and people are knowing your name, and people are rocking with the movement. But a lot of times when people don't see the grind, they can think it's like an overnight type of thing, right? If you can explain what that grind has been like, because now you are getting your flowers, now you are being known as one of the top lyricists in the underground, but it wasn't an overnight process. You know what I'm saying? If you can speak about that grind.
Oh man, the grind was man, it was a tumultuous one at times.
Mm-hmm.
It was a frustrating one at times. It was uh, a painstaking one at times. All that, all the above, and it's also positivity in that too. I can't say it was all bad. The grind is what makes us who we are. It's
Mm-hmm.
what gives us that our character. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like I said, it essentially makes us who we are. So the grind, man, it's been everything from a learning experience to heartbreak.
Mm.
Everything in between. Um, I started out. I probably didn't hit the internet with my music probably until around like 2010, maybe. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? That was around the time I probably started first getting on the internet. I've been recording music probably since 2000 and I want to say somewhere around 2005, maybe
Mm.
around 405. That's when I
Right.
first was able to get into a studio, and that was through my cousin. Shout out my cousin, man, Fluid Ill Flow. He actually used to rhyme himself. Him
No
and this
doubt.
guy, they had a group called The Faction. Family
Mm.
always comes together and others need. You know what I'm saying? And him and that crew, Faction Family, they are big.
Okay, so we had some technical difficulties, but you were explaining, being on the internet, you first started releasing music on the internet around 2010. Um, as far as the grind and getting your music heard, how has the internet helped with that?
Oh man, at first, I ain't really I didn't know what I was doing. I
Mm-hmm.
was just basically spamming links, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like throwing leaks on the internet 20 times in a row, probably
Right.
losing more motherfuckers than gaining. So I didn't know what I was doing at first. I was just so eager and thirsty to get my music out there and to have somebody listen to it and get some
Mhm.
type of feedback. I was going about it all the wrong way. You
Mhm.
know, I probably didn't like gain no real traction until like coming back in 2020,
Mm.
and a lot of that is thanks to the homie Kill, you know,
Mm. Mhm.
like I think I don't know, like I was trying to like strategize to see like, okay, if I'm gonna have my music on the internet, I need some voices that hold some type of power, to help me spread my message.
Right.
So I don't know how I stumbled upon his page,
Mhm.
but somehow I came upon this Twitter, and I'm like, okay, he got a decent following. I see, you know what I'm saying, like, and he had a culture, you know what I'm saying, like he talking that talk, like he doing his thing. So I reached out to him and I sent him some music, and so I'm expecting to hear, it's cool, I rock with it, you know what I'm saying, like here's my price, let's go from there. Because everything come with a price nowadays, especially what I'm saying in Chicago. Like everybody got a service to provide.
Right.
So he hit me back and he was like, yo, this shit is dope. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to help you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have my team. help you promote it. I do a podcast, Apartment 5B, and I'm like, it sounds good. What's your price?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He like,
yeah.
like I just that's what we do. Like I want to help you, you know what I'm saying? Ain't no price. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm like, oh shit. So Kill has been killing the whole Apartment 5B cast. Shout out to Porsche, you know what I'm saying? Eddie, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody over there, like they have been an immense help, you know what I'm saying, with helping me spread my message, and as well as the homie GQ out here from Chicago as well. You know what I'm saying? Like he didn't put a lot of people onto my work and others too, but those been two of the main ones. So it started out rough for the first several years, you know what I'm saying? But lately it's been decent. The last couple years, man, like I couldn't be more thankful.
Yeah, man. Peace to Kill and everybody over there. Apartment 5B, they definitely dope. And if y'all haven't seen them, check out their podcast. It's real dope. They're putting on for the culture. Right. For somebody that's been grinding the way you've been grinding to finally start to get, you know, the love and people noticing and recognize you, like how does that feel? You know what I'm saying? Because you've been putting in work for a long time, but now, you know, people are taking notice of what you're doing.
It's definitely gratifying, bro. It's definitely gratifying because, you know, I'm not really in this shit. Well, let me not say it like that. My end all be all to this shit is not the bread. It's not money. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like when you're dealing with greatness, you know, the money gonna find you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So anytime you embarking on a journey to be great or to be legendary or to make history, somebody gonna find you and offer you an opportunity to monetize off that. You know what I'm saying? That's never been my main focus. That's never been my main initiative. But it's gratifying to see people actually, you know, take notice of what I'm doing, because, you know, my art is for the people. It's for any like-minded individual. It's not just for me, which is why I'm putting it out. So, you know, when somebody tell me about, you know what I'm saying, how they rock with a song or a project or how long they've been listening to it, I think that's the thing that get me the most when they start telling me like how long they listen to it, because we in such a microwavable era of music to where we consume shit and we push it to the side as soon as before we digest it. You know, so that's everything, bro, because more than anything else, I want to leave a mark in this shit. You know what I'm saying? I want to leave a legacy behind, you know. So to get that response or those responses and those reactions and those words of encouragement from the people, bro, like that shit is like, you can't put a value on that. It's invaluable. You know what I'm saying? You can't put a measure of value on that. You know what I'm saying? It definitely keep me going, and it's much gratitude.
And you know, I've seen, you know, like how, like, whenever you, like, if you buy a new car, right, for some reason you start noticing everybody else that got that car while you're driving, right? Since I've been listening to your music and since I've been building with you, and, you know what I'm saying, just building a relationship with you, I noticed that, I mean, people outside of social media they'll send music, and it'll be, and some of it has been yours. And like, yo, you heard this? Yeah, that's my guy right there. But it's just dope to see, like, you know, when the word spreads, and it spreads fast, and it can spread like a wildfire. And I feel like people are catching on, and it's not just online, right? It's people that are tapped into the underground. They may have heard it from word of mouth. And somebody the other day, I forgot what the name of the song was. They sent something over that you were featured on. You know what I'm saying? And so I've been seeing your name everywhere, man.
Gratitude, man. I'm ecstatic about that. Like I said, I can't be more thankful, because, you know, that's a good sign to me, as in, you know, I'm doing the right shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm following the right path. My trajectory is trending, you know what I'm saying, in the right way. So I can't say enough, man. I can't say enough. Like, it's definitely a motivating factor in keeping me wanting to continue to put my best foot forward. Because, you know, anytime I pop out, whether it's to hit the stage, whether it's for a guest appearance, whether it's for my own shit, I always want to put my best foot forward, because at the level I'm at, it's still someone's first time. It's still every impression is a first impression at this point in time for me. So I'm always trying to maintain and uphold and just continue to put out quality no matter what I'm doing, regardless if it's 16 bars or whether it's 16 songs. Like, I always that quality, you know what I'm saying, to stay consistent, if not get better. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's real. That's real, man. And being from Chicago, y'all have a diverse hip hop scene. From battle rappers, drill rappers, conscious MCs, gangster rappers. Speak about just the in general the Chicago hip hop scene and the way you've seen it evolve and change throughout the years.
I'm so glad that you tapped in and you pointed that out, bro, because nowadays a lot of motherfuckers really only give us credit for the drill shit. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Oh, it's much more than that.
Yeah, and we don't even really get that nowadays. I understand New York then kind of took that and ran with it and just
Right.
do it. Like that was a cloud that I was ready to get from over the city anyway.
Mhm.
Because not to shit on my city, but I like to a degree how them New York niggas doing it because it's motherfuckers coming out of that shit and they actually being successful.
Yeah.
You hear with the shit, motherfuckers is dying behind that shit.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers
Yeah.
not giving themselves a chance to get successful off the drill shit because it's too real.
Right.
Chicago is one of them cities that's always been too real for their own good.
Right.
Chicago has missed out on a lot of shit because we too fucking real in the wrong ways. There's nothing wrong with being real, but we too real in the wrong ways when it comes to bullshit. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? So our history is, man, super culture. You know what I'm saying? And that's where, you know, if you're familiar with me on Twitter or any of my social medias, I use the hashtag Chicago never forgot how to rap. You know, and it's much more than rap though. If you want to take it back to, you know, Curtis Mayfield, Shaka Khan, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like Sam Cooke, you know what I'm saying? We've always given motherfuckers, we've always had top-notch quality artists in whatever type of genre music it is. Like
Right.
any type of, even to today, any genre of music that you want or that you into, Chicago has a motherfucker that does that very well. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like elite level shit. And that's any genre. I don't care what it is. You know, so we come from a rich history, you know what I'm saying? And I come from the lineage of the J.U. ISIS, MC Juice, you know what I'm saying? For those who might not be familiar.
Yeah, he's the one that battled Eminem, right? And
Yeah,
beat
if
him.
I'm not mistaken, beat him twice. I know
Yeah.
one is on camera. I've heard somebody say that both times is on camera, but I only saw one.
Yeah, I only saw one too.
Yeah, so legendary battle MC, the homie Vakil, who was like super cold ass raw legendary underground MC. He actually on my upcoming shit, you know what I'm
Dope.
saying? But from them to, of course, you know, we got the household names like Common, Lupe, Twister, you know what I'm saying? No ID, you know what I'm saying? Legendary producer, you know what I'm saying? The legendary trackster. Then you got a little on the underground for those who might not know, you got Psychodrama, Buck Side Effects,
Snipers.
Guy, yeah, that's Nardo, AK, and Below Zero. You got Triple Darkness, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to homie Direct. You got Snipers, you know what I'm saying? A gang of artists, EC Illa, aka White Folks, you know what I'm saying? Like Seawall Mob, there's so many, you know, from Matt's crew, Color One, Twister coming out of that camp, you know what I'm saying? Mastered all that shit crew, Matt's crew, to the Ill State Assassins, shout out Ange 13, you know what I'm saying? Everybody affiliated with Ill State, to Mole Man, shout out Panic, you know what I'm saying? And nowadays you got artists like myself and labels like Filthy, Analex, you know what I'm saying? Record company, shout out to K, all the guys over there. But you got like modern day shit. Like I call Vic Spencer, like he's the modern day godfather of this era's like underground Chicago rap scene. And what I mean by that, when I say that, you know, he been around, we probably hit the internet with our music around the same time, but his consistency has been unmatched, you know what I'm saying? And his quality has continued to progress, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, where a lot of us, a lot of the artists I know, we quit at times, you know what I'm saying? We get frustrated. Like he stayed down, 10 toes down, and he stood a square. Like he stood the test of time. And now you see him rubbing shoulders with the likes of Stove God Cooks, the West Side Guns, the Benny the Butchers, the Rock Marcianos, the 38 Specials. He has genuine, not paid for, not bought relationships with these individuals. Like they don't come to Chicago if they don't tap in with him. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I look at him as a motherfucker, like, but with that aside, who he know aside, just his own body of work and legacy that he in a process of leaving behind and laying down. Like Vic, you know what I'm saying? He a monster out here. Then you got like artists like Fillmore Green. You know what I'm saying? You got Weasel Sims and Jay Hayes, the homie King 7, his class of 96 Sounds Company. You know what I'm saying? Lord SC, 95 Goldie. You got Brittany Carter, who was an amazing.
Oh, I didn't know she was from Chicago.
Brittany Carter is a beast, definitely from Chicago. You got Freddie O, so another amazingly talented, you know what I'm saying, female MC. You got Psalm 1. You got Add 2, you got Def C, Solar 5, Green Slime. Like the list goes on. I could keep going and going and going. It's not just me. You know, like sometimes people will hit me like, oh, bro, you the best out of Chicago right now. I appreciate you, but I'm doing a disservice to my city if I don't bring other motherfuckers' names up and I just take that praise for myself. Like if y'all love me, you gonna absolutely adore these other motherfuckers that we got because Chicago always had that shit. You know what I'm saying? Always.
Yeah, and the names that you said as far as like who's doing things now, including yourself, and you know you have people like Add2 and Brittany Carter. And what do you think though? Like media outlets and they tend to not focus on that side of Chicago though. They only want to talk about the drill music. Like that is the only representation of Chicago. And I feel like they do not only the game a disservice, but they're doing Chicago a disservice too, due to the fact that y'all do have this rich musical history. Y'all have extremely talented MCs that are doing their thing on the underground level. Even mainstream artists, Common is still rapping. You know what I'm saying? Kanye is, they kind of separate Kanye from Chicago a lot of times because he doesn't, you know, like in just the narrative, right? But why do you think that like everything is just so focused on drill when y'all have another type of scene that's bubbling and thriving as well?
Because it's that whole clout, attention, go with what sells shit. Not saying that what we doing can't sell, but you know, it's easy to put a product out that motherfuckers romanticize.
Yeah.
And we just romanticize this street shit, this gangster shit, you know what I'm saying, to a fault. It's always like, man, I've been seeing videos of motherfuckers from like the UK, like coming to O Block like it's a fucking tourist attraction. Wow. They on the soil, they on the concrete, and like they can't believe it. Like they in front of a holy grail or some shit. And I'm looking at this shit like it's wild as hell to me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like motherfuckers. It's
kind of like coming to look at us like we some circus animals or some shit.
Exactly, bro. Exactly. It is kind of like the shit is like motherfuckers just gonna go with what's the most controversial, because usually the most controversial shit is the shit that motherfuckers gonna buy into.
Right.
And like, and that go for local media as well. Like they will report on the 15 shootings that happened over a course of 2 days, but they not gonna report on the motherfuckers like Inglewood Barbie who out here like feeding the homeless like weekend. You know what I'm saying? Week. They not gonna you know, blow up or promote the actual rallies and the marches that motherfuckers, the demonstrations that motherfuckers do hold in the street, because motherfuckers love to say, well, y'all demonstrate when the police kill y'all, y'all don't demonstrate when y'all kill y'all. That's bullshit. You just don't see it.
Right.
You not walking the streets, you don't see it. You know what I'm saying? So that's just media. Media gonna always, well, a certain kind of media is always gonna tend to go with what gets headlines. You know, what's gonna pique a motherfucker's interest and curiosity, and we just like to get caught up in bullshit. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is. But I feel like Chicago never really planted our flag. I mean, motherfuckers know what it is. Like, as you just, you know what I'm saying, mentioned, motherfuckers know our rich musical history, but it's like, I don't ever feel like we stamped, like we planted our flag in a game, because, you know, New York is who New York is. The East Coast is what it is. New York started this shit. The West Coast had that shit and introduced gangster rap, so they gonna forever be known for that. The South did their own thing, so they gonna forever be known for that. Chicago is a place that motherfuckers are mentioned and glossed over, but we don't have that flag planted. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I want to be part of changing. You know what I'm saying? I want us to have that flag planted to where motherfuckers understand, no, Chicago is a staple, because we are, but I just don't feel like we get that respect like we should. I'm not gonna say we don't get the respect at all, but we don't get it like we should.
Yeah, I think the MCs know, right? MCs and producers know, but the media acts like they want to overlook that and only focus on one thing. And so, like in 2020, I Am God came out. 2021, The Eternal Reflection, and then 2021 again, Hell's Angels and Heaven's Demons, which is my personal favorite. These are all well thought out projects, right? And you are able to release them at a consistent rate. Now I've seen where a lot of artists now, are quick to come out with music. And sometimes it sounds like just doing the same album, but yours is not like that. How do you, first off, like, where does that type of work ethic come from? And whenever you are going into writing an album, like, do you have a concept for the album already? Because, like Hell's Angels and Heaven's Demons, like, that's extremely conceptual. We'll get into more, about it later on in the interview. But what is that process like? You know what I mean? As far as you and when it's time to create a new album.
The work ethic, to speak about that first, is fairly new. Before I quit doing music around like 2016, 17, somewhere around there, and I came back the end of 2019. Didn't release nothing until 2020 though. So the work ethic is fairly new. Like, surprisingly to myself, I've done more with much more personal responsibility in my life than I have with less personal responsibility in my life. But at the same time, I'm old, I'm a little more mature. I see things for what they are. I understand how to stay out my own way. Because a lot of times we have problems and we quick to point to outside sources, and I was able to grow and mature and recognize that I was the source of a lot of my own problems, my attitude, and how I would carry on. And also, I am making a little more money now, so I can get my vision out the way I see fit. But I used to get real discouraged. Like, if I couldn't execute my shit exactly how I wanted to, I wouldn't do it. I so to speak, take my ball and go home.
Right.
I'm taking the ball away from myself. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm not helping myself, because now I'm not doing anything versus to doing it based on what I have available to me. So, just a lot of maturity, a lot of maturing, you know what I'm saying? Understanding, growing and developing, and understanding that, you got to just make do with what the fuck you have. Like, if you claim that this is what you want to do, and you this and you that, like, I like to say I'm this, I'm that, I'm the best, and blah, blah, blah. I prove that shit, bro. Because the motherfuckers who really can hold themselves at that high of a level, they're not letting a couple wrinkles in the plan fuck up their whole demonstration.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
hold on real quick, G. Okay, so yeah, like we were building on, as far as your albums go and the work ethic, you were stating that, that's just that's kind of a recent thing. But with that said, what you've been putting out is dope, and it does not sound rushed. And like I said, conceptually, like they all are albums that stand alone, right? Like, I'm meaning that it's its own project. It's not necessarily like how some make the same album over and over again. If you can, like, what's the process like, whenever you're conceptualizing what direction you want to go with your album?
That's funny, because I only, like, the first one, I Am God, like, that was the one that I kind of like knew exactly what it was that I wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? That was the one to where it was like, okay, I know I've been going for a few years. I want to make a statement, you know what I'm saying, coming back into this shit. I want to get back to the basics and let the people know that I really do this rap shit. Like, I know how to really rap.
Right.
So that was the only one that was really like conceptualized beforehand, and I knew what I wanted to do going in. And that one turned out to be what it was. Now, with the Eternal Reflection, bro, I can't credit none other than divine intervention for that, because it's like, man, like, that one, hold on one second, man. That one right there, the Eternal Reflection, I initially wanted to do like another I Am God sounding project, hard beats, hard bars, you know what I'm saying? Right. But that one was curated in the midst of 2020, you know what I'm saying? Actually, yeah, it dropped 2021. So that one was
a lot going on.
That one was largely curated over the year 2020. So with everything going on from, George Floyd, you know what I'm saying? The developments of the Breonna Taylor case, it was just a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole Trump shit, like it was just a lot, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I had a nice source of content, you know what I'm saying, to pull from. A lot of thoughts, a lot of emotions, you know, a lot of negativity I was feeling, and I was able to channel that shit and put it out in a specific sort of way. But that project was not planned to be that way. That was not it wasn't supposed to be a concept album. You know, it just, as I began making the music and the songs was coming together, I just noticed the common theme, you know, and because I'm not a type of dude, I don't even have concepts for songs prior to hearing a beat. I love like having that beat to just take me wherever I need to go. You know what I'm saying? Like if I gotta sit with a beat for too long, I might like it and it might be dope as hell, but it's gonna turn me off because now I gotta sit and think about it too much. I like when a beat gives me the direction and tell me what to do and where to go. So a lot of those beats, and shout out to homie Custom Made, you know what I'm saying? I gotta, you know what I'm saying, give him like all the respect, as well as the homie Max Julian, because he produced the entire first joint, I Am God, and Custom Made produced the Eternal Reflection in its entirety. But you know, the joints he was sending, it was just like giving me these emotions and these feelings, and the thoughts that concepts and the thoughts was just coming. You know, and that was a real, it was crazy because for all the negativity and the bad energy I was getting from 2020, it helped me to be some of my most creative ever. You know what I'm saying? So it was crazy, but that joint was not planned to be that, you know, from the cover of it with the shorty on the cover, who was also actually his name is Robert Yummy Sandiford. And he was killed, you know what I'm saying, execution style back in September of 1994. You know, and even though the project is not about his life, you know, it ties in with the title and the concept, you know, the title, The Eternal Reflection, and that portrait basically being like a reflection of what I see in the streets every day in Chicago. You know, it's basically saying the more things change, the more they stay the same. You know, so the eternal reflection, I'm basically saying like this shit ain't changing. Like I see the same shit. This shit is eternal. I don't think it's never gonna change. And it's shit, you could say it's even worse now than what it was then. So, you know, that shit just came together, and with Hell's Angels and Heaven's Demons, you know, shout out to homie Dr. Mindbender, because he produced that joint in its entirety. And he also my primary engineer, grindhouse shit, you know.
He did a great job on the production on that, by the way.
Hey, I definitely relate a message, gratitude, bro, because he definitely is a monster. That shit was a little leftover feelings from the Eternal Reflection. You could hear it, you know what I'm saying, kind of like in the beginning of the project, the first few songs kind of deal with some of the same topics that I would
say like the first 4 or 5.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and those songs was kind of, and they wasn't wrote close together or nothing like that. You know, I don't really write for multiple projects at the same. Well, I do. I can't lie. I was writing for like the Eternal Reflection and some of Hell's Angels and Heaven's Demons at the same time. So yeah. So a lot of a good portion of those songs from Hell's Angels kind of like fit the theme of you know, the Eternal Reflection just over Doc Beats, because you know, I was still letting that shit out. You know what I'm saying? I was still getting that out of my system, you know. So that came together, how it came together too. Like I knew that one was gonna be a little darker because I wanted to base it off base the soundscape off Dreadhead Zombies. That was the first song we actually recorded, you know what I'm saying, for that project. And a lot of people don't know the Hell's Angels and Heaven's Demons was actually the first shit that I started recording when I came back into music. Like we started recording that in 2019. Wow. 2019, early 2020. It just so happened that Doc had prior obligations, you know what I'm saying, that he had to fulfill. And I ended up working with Max Julian for I Am God, and they just fail how they fail, you know. But Hell's Angels was the first shit we started working on.
Well, it does seem like that happened for a reason, because the way that they came out is, I can't imagine it coming out in a different order at this point. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so in Hell's Angels and Heaven's Demons, you do touch on some heavy concepts, and which is what I like about it. Well, one of the reasons why I like it. Even in the beginning song, the first song, what made you go there? Because like I mean, you really touch on things like even in the first joint of that a lot of MCs may be afraid to talk about, you know what I'm saying? But you put it all out there, and I feel like that was dope. And you know, the game needs stuff like that for the simple fact, lyricism to me is not just being able to be complex with your words, but it's being able to convey the idea, shine a light on the idea, and that's what hip hop is supposed to do. And with that, you know what I'm saying, you touch a lot of a plethora of different topics, and we'll get into those as well. But like, what made you go there on this album, as far as, you know, just being able to speak what you see, even if it's extremely negative, even if it's like something that's real foul, but it really happens, you know what I'm saying?
It just needs to be talked about. And these things are being talked about, but it's in different spaces. And we might not be in the spaces that they are being talked about. So for everybody that's in the hip hop space and that really fuck with this type of music, it's my duty, responsibility to bring that to motherfuckers' attention if they not aware already. You know, like, again, bro, like, I consider myself a throwback MC, you know, and what the MCs of the past did, they was always a source of information. Now, sometimes the information wasn't 100% accurate, depending on how they got it and how they put it out, but it still was enough to get the ball rolling as far as you going to do your own knowledge of the shit and get whatever you're going to take from it. So it's imperative that I do the same, you know, because a lot of shit is hid, and a lot of shit is just not it's just not mainstream enough for it to catch motherfuckers' attention. So when I talk about things like the doctor that botches his patient's operations because pay from their occupation don't equate to his compensation, that's real shit. Right. You know, real doing shit. That whole 2020 shit, like, I can't remember who it was, and I don't even think I followed this individual, but something was retweeted into my timeline about statistics of Black women being given
pain. Like they won't give them payment. They don't believe that they're in pain.
Right, being given lesser treatment during childbirth. Oh wow. You know, so that shit bothered me. You know what I'm saying? When I heard that, and I'm like, what the fuck? So, you know, and that's where the nurse comes in that's secretly racist. She see the faces of Black and brown youth on a frequent basis, you know, and that's true too. You know, a lot of these medical facilities is overcrowded with our kind, you know what I'm saying, being Black and brown or whatever. And you can't tell me that a lot of these motherfuckers is there to actually do their job and they don't have their own personal agendas. Okay. Like, people still people at the end of the day, regardless of what title they hold. So that's why I take it from just regular motherfuckers in the streets running around killing shit. And we look at them sometimes as just savages, but you don't know the backstory of what brought them there. To the money hungry doctor who don't do the best for his patients if he not getting paid how he want to the secretly racist nurse, to the sexually abusive step pops, to the foul Catholic priests who fucking with the altar boys, all that shit, you know, all that shit happens on a daily basis. And at one point or another, we hear stories, but I feel like the Hell's Angels and Heaven's Demons shit was just a play on words to flip and make us look at these characters and these titles that we would normally by default think is here to help us and protect us. That's not always what it is. Just because the motherfucker is a doctor, that don't mean he give a fuck about your state of health and your well-being. You know what I'm saying? A lot of police ain't out here serving and protecting. They out here harassing and battering. You know what I'm saying? So it's just I always want to make a motherfucker think and look at shit from a different lens than what they might be looking at it from on a day-to-day.
Yeah, that's a brilliant concept, bro. And I mean, just real talk. Like, I think that's why I think it's my favorite. I mean, not only because of what it is conceptually, but you managed to be able to talk about these concepts, but stay lyrical at the same time. Like, is that something that you're consciously doing? Because, you know, in a lot of cases, when it comes to MCs, you will have the guy with the content might not necessarily be the guy that's the lyricist, and vice versa. But in your case, is both, and you're able to not dumb down your pen and stay witty and lyrical, but convey a real message. Like, is that something that you consciously do?
Yes, absolutely. And that come from artists like Nas. You could throw Pun in there. You could definitely throw Pac, Big, J in there. Face, Cube. Cube is a big influence of mine. Death Certificate kind of like made me look at society different, and also be able to look at things and handle things differently too. So absolutely, to answer your question, absolutely. I always try to make sure I don't lose the potency. I'm technical, but I'm not a technician. I put it like that. Like, and what I mean by that, I said this before. I seen a video on Twitter to where Elzai was breaking down different sorts of flows and cadences and nuances, and he actually had names to describe them. And what I realized was I can do everything he was breaking down, but I couldn't explain it if you had a gun in my head. You know what I'm saying? I just can't. I put in my 10,000 hours. I got more than 20 years in. I'm conditioned to do what I do. I don't know how to do it. I don't know where to pull it from. I just know when it come out, it come out. You know, that's what I've been subliminally conditioning myself to do. And I try to add on that and build on to it, but it's all by ear, emotion, and feel. It's never nothing to where like how Rakim could explain how he places this bar here, he might leave a space, go to the next bar and come back and fill that shit in. Like, I could never be able to do that. My mind don't work like that. Like, it has to come free flowing. It has to be a free flowing train of thought, and it's going to come how it's going to come. Now, I might go back and change a word or two and shorten it up or lengthen the bar, but never nothing to where it's super technical. So with me being technical, it's still a level of technicality that can be understood. You know what I'm saying? Yes. I feel like sometimes I strive to go over a motherfucking head, but more times than not, I want to keep it at a level to where it's a little technical, it's intellectual, but it's still digestible. You know what I'm saying? To the everyday motherfucker. You ain't got to have no scholarship from Harvard to understand what I'm saying. Because my shit really ain't for them anyway. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely something I strive to do. I don't want to lose the potency of what I'm doing, which is MCing, through trying to convey a message, because now it's kind of like, all right, bro, you preaching. You know what I'm saying? So I still want to give you that that information. I still want to give you that information, but I want to give you the skill that you like me for, period. You know what I'm saying? I want to give both and merge them. You know, again, I was just talking to one of my guys, shout out Def C. I was talking to him yesterday, and I was basically telling him that, like, throughout this time of trying to put myself together, as a complete MC, I liken it to playing 2K. You know, how without putting all the sliders all the way up to 99, and just creating some motherfucking overpowered ass player, you know, you try to get as close as you can, but still being realistic. You try to get the sliders up as much as possible without being OP. So it's kind of like, you know, that's what I've done or tried to do with my craft and my artistry over the years. Like, I just tried to take the best of all my favorite MCs, because I'm a student of this shit as well. And I think people need to understand that. Like, that's very important. Important if you're trying to be a high caliber MC. You have to be a student. You have to. You absolutely 100% have to be a student of the culture. And I'm not just talking about rap, I'm talking about the culture of hip hop. Yeah. You know, you have to be a student in order to, I feel like, reach that level. You know what I'm saying? But it's definitely something I'm conscious of and I'm always striving to perfect.
Yeah, speaking of being a student, I was telling some young brothers, they was having the spaces. I was just building with them, and I saw an interview where it was Winfred Marsalis, and there was the jazz musician, and he now teaches at Juilliard, but he was having a speech, and he was answering questions from the audience, and you know, they asked one of I think a young kid plays an instrument, asked him, you know, what do I need to do in order to, you know, be the best that I could be? And first thing he did was tell him to, hey man, you got to study all the eras of jazz. You got to go back from Louis Armstrong all the way on to now, because you got to have that to be able to pull from. And I feel like MCing would be the same thing. You know, like you have a much larger pool of information and understanding of how people rapped, and in order to compose your own thing. Like I kind of find it wild sometimes when I see, you know, every 3 months we'll see a new rapper come out and say they never heard a Biggie or Tupac song, right? Like, I don't think that's anything to that lets me, that put you, already put you in a category in a lot of cases. And I'm not saying you got to be a huge Pac and Big fan like how we may be, but you know, I think it's always good to at least understand the art historically in order to be the best
You
artist.
gotta know the ledge.
Yeah,
you gotta know the ledge, bro. Point blank, period. You gotta know the ledge, man.
Facts. And you know, you kind of touched on something that I was going to ask you anyway. On Gotham Gangways, like, bruh, that's a man, like that's a powerful joint right there. You know what I'm saying? I think that might be my favorite song on there. But you touched on the topic of Chicago and and it could, you know what, it could be related to any hood, right? But you know, you being from Chicago, you touched on the topic differently from most. It's from an intellectual standpoint, but it's also from someone who is still from that element, right? Where you're not separating yourself from this shit. It's like you're analyzing it from seeing it and being around it. What made you write it that way?
Man, I'm glad that you brought that song up, bro, because I feel like that's a very overlooked song on the project. That's definitely one of the songs that I wanted people to pay attention to and be impacted by. Mm-hmm. With that being said, Gotham Gangways is my version of, like I said this before as well, like I explained that Dreadhead Zombies was my version of the Evils. You know what I'm saying? Even without the sample is there, and now we lead through, infected with the Evils. But the way he told the 3 stories he told, I just wanted to tell one story in multiple parts. Right. So how Dreadhead Zombies is my The Evils, Gotham Gangways is my Star Wars, like my Nas shit. You know what I'm saying? Like that song is heavily influenced by Nas Star Wars. And the reason being, if you listen to Star Wars, you know, the whole flip on that is about how rappers end up, you know, get into these situations that they don't come out of alive. Right. You know, and that song was powerful to me that the way he put it, because he did it after the deaths of Biggie and Tupac, not right after. That was like some early 2000 shit, maybe between 2000 and 2004 or 5, something like that, when that joint came out. It might have been closer than that. It might have been like 01, 02, something like that. I can't remember, but and I always was amazed at how he told that story. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, at one point in time, I mean, it's crazy now, but that was kind of like the beforehand. You know, it was after the Scott LaRock, after Big, after Pop, after Jam Master Jay, but before how it is now, to where you hear about a rapper being killed every other fucking week, it seemed like, or every other day, it sounds like. So, you know, Gotham Gangways was basically me telling the story of the modern day aspiring Chicago artist, which, how you say, it could be from anywhere, right? But it's based on the drill rappers of today. You know what I'm saying? Like how on one hand, they doing something to better their situation. Hopefully they doing it to better their situation. But the shit that they doing is not conducive to achieving a better situation. It's only putting you deep into the shit that you already in. Right. So it's been many artists that motherfuckers probably not even privy to, that had a chance to come out of Chicago and do something that never made it, because they didn't fucking survive the type of music that they was doing. And that's what I mean, going back to when I say Chicago always been too real for our own good in the wrong way. Yeah. Like, it's crazy to think that that's really like an oxymoron. It's crazy to think that you could try to be better in your situation off something so destructive that you know you really gonna have to deal with and probably not gonna make it out of. Right. Like if you're doing drill music in Chicago, you basically gotta lead a career. You cannot remain in Chicago for long and survive and continue to do drill music. Right. Like, rest in peace, FBG Duck, but he kind of like moved away from the sound for a little bit. But then before he died, there was a song that he made and it was kind of back into that vein. And a lot of people feel like that was, not saying that anybody wasn't gonna do nothing to him if they caught him, but that was kind of like, that was the nail in the coffin. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, you can't be here in the city making that type of music and just think that it's gonna be all good, because motherfuckers is really about all this shit. Fucked up to say. I don't say that proudly. I don't say that on no tough shit. It just is what it is. Motherfuckers is really about that shit. So doing drill music in Chicago was very, very fucking dangerous. Like, you might as well be doing something else, you know what I'm saying, if you actually think you're trying to get out and make some of yourself,
Right.
like not through drill. That's why I say like New York, I kind of like how they did it in New York, because it's like, okay, at least motherfuckers not dying every other day behind the shit, at least to my knowledge.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I see artists being able to capitalize off that shit more. Mm-hmm. A lot of motherfuckers not able to do that shit in Chicago with that type of music. So that was just basically telling the story of like the modern day, you know, Chicago rapper, you know what I'm saying? And like the shit that they go through, and me seeing it from a certain angle and just trying to present it in a certain light. Like I always try to make you think about shit instead of just demonizing shit. Because even though it's some foul shit, you know, motherfuckers didn't come out the womb foul. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these little niggas is like, I explain that shit in Gotham, like Gotham Gangways and Dreadhead Zombies, they real connected. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like Dreadhead Zombies is the how and Gotham Gangways is the what. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, that's just basically a tale of how I seen these shorties and these artists get a name and then lose their life as soon as they got the name. You know?
Yeah. I mean, we've seen it, man, and we've even seen how Chicago drill culture has influenced the way other gangs in other states are moving. You know what I'm saying? Like as far as, you know, we won't get into all of the things that they do, but you know what I'm saying? You're starting to see it rub off. And I feel like, you know, Gotham Gangways and Dreadhead Zombies, like you said, Gotham Gangways really stuck with me just because of just where you were coming from and what you were explaining. And I was like, you know, there's not too many MCs that have touched on the topic at all, especially not even the manner that you have. But I felt like that was dope. And on the song Blessings, one thing that I like about that, right, is that you speak about how the old school street code is gone, right? You know, where women and babies and used to be off limits, right? And now we see ain't nothing off limits, it seemed like anymore. You know what I'm saying? If you can, like, expound on that song and, you know, what kind of inspired that.
Blessings is the chastising of the whole shit. Because, you know, you want to be relatable. You understand what it is. In certain cases, I overstand what it is and where they coming from. Because to a certain degree, I did some of this shit.
Right.
But at the same time, it's just different. Like, it's just different. Like, we still have respect for our elders. You know what I'm saying? We were still taught to have respect for our elders. We were still taught to value life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't gonna say like I come from an era to where everybody was so noble and niggas was righteous and niggas wouldn't kill unless it was absolutely necessary. No, I wasn't that. We was doing a lot of goofball ass knucklehead shit too. But it was a fine line between shit, and that line has been crossed time and time again. And I don't even know if that line is still existing. You know what I'm saying? In today's street culture, street climate, whatever you want to call it. So Blessings is basically, you know, saluting the motherfuckers who still choose to live that life, but still carry some sort of code of honor to themselves, a code of ethics. They not gonna cross a specific line, because I don't dislike street niggas. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't demonize or hate street niggas. Like, I come from that. I myself, I don't consider myself a street nigga, but I know them.
But that's the thing about street shit, is whether you are participating in it or not, being Black, we are always 2 seconds away from that shit anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, whether it's family or friends or you know, just what it is, man.
Yeah. So yeah, man, Blessings is just saluting the niggas that conduct themselves in that, don't conduct themselves in that manner, but might have to live that life or choose to live that life. And it's kind of chastising the niggas that live that life and just don't get no fucking, everybody got to feel their wrath. You know, that's not honorable. Those are niggas I don't fuck with. You know what I'm saying? And it's usually those type that can't really be helped. You know what I'm saying? And they don't really live long enough to even change their views or their ways on certain shit. So another one of them touchy ass joints. But again, when I heard the music, that's the shit that just came out, you know. So yeah, that's a salute to the niggas that still living that life, that conduct themselves in a more respectful manner, regardless of what you think about street culture and street life. And, you know, to that that old school way of living in the street. You know what I'm saying? Having some sort of honor about what you're doing and some sort of code of ethics and not crossing a particular line.
Yeah, and see, that's one of the things that I meant by as with this album, like just all the different concepts that you touch, man, is very powerful stuff, and stuff that, you know, not everybody is willing to touch, you know, for whatever reasons. But I mean, you dove in head first and put it all out there, which makes it one of, you know, the dopest projects I've heard in a while. With that said, like the underground is in a good space, I would say. You know, there's a high level of lyricism going on in the underground. For those that, you know, have trouble finding it, are usually the ones that are saying things that like hip hop is dead. But we know better, you know what I'm saying, that the underground's in a great place. Who are some of the underground MCs that you currently rocking with? Because I feel like lyricism right now, and people may look at me crazy, but lyricism right now, I feel like with a lot of cats is at an all-time high. It's just not in the mainstream. You know what I'm saying? And so who you listen to? Who what you know what I'm saying? Whenever you're not creating, who are some of the cats that you rocking with?
Shit, a lot. To tap in, add on to what you said real quick. Man, that's an excellent point, because I definitely feel like lyricism is at an all-time high. But again, I'm a real logical individual, you know what I'm saying? Real common sense type shit. So 2 + 2 is 4 any day of the week. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We've had enough examples, and you alluded to this earlier. We've had enough examples throughout the creation of this culture. Being able to rap is the basic shit. Everybody should know how to rap at this point in time. It's 2022.
Right.
Hip hop was created in, some want to say 73, 74. You know what I'm saying? Rap shit probably before then, but just not being called rap. You know, so we've had many examples of how to, you know what I'm saying, be a master of ceremony or whatever you want to call it. Like, we have many examples of motherfuckers who understood how to excel at rhythm and poetry. You know what I'm saying? So being able to rap is just the basic shit. You know what I'm saying? That's the basic level of nice. Like, what can you do to add on? You know what I'm saying? Like you said. So with that being said, the motherfuckers I respect, or that I'm listening to, everybody who I mentioned from the crib, from Chicago, who I mentioned earlier. But then you got like the people who I've come across on social media. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them came via Twitter. You got Know It All, who just released The Machine. You know what I'm saying? A dope ass project. I can't remember the producer's name. You know what I'm saying? But that was a super heavy ass project. You know what I'm saying? You got Backwoods Sweetie. Like, I absolutely adore Shorty. You know what I'm saying? Like, Christina Shantae was one of the dopest pieces of music I've heard from male or female in a minute. Same. You know what I'm saying? Like, the way she articulated her thought, you know what I'm saying? The thoughts themselves, the way she was able to mesh the thought with the music, you know what I'm saying? The beats, like everything. And like, she did an interview, I think it was with Don't Sleep on the Couch. Shout out to Cash and Prez.
Shout out to them.
And she had said something about somebody had a criticism or critique. She sounded like she reading off paper. I instantly was like, what? Like, Shorty remind me of like Angela Davis or somebody. Like, she sounds like she had a podium or something, like speaking.
Yeah, I didn't hear that either. I didn't hear the reading off of paper. It doesn't sound like that.
Yeah, like, she has a voice like she's a speaker. You know what I'm saying? So she definitely another one. Her Know It All. Shout out to homie Numbs. You know what I'm saying? I still got to tap in more to his work, but you know what I'm saying? I'm getting more familiar with him. Deaf Soldier, you know what I'm saying? I think he messing with Rome Streets Camp, you know what I'm saying? He dope. We got some shit coming. Of course, the homie JR, you know what I'm saying? He had me on his I believe it was his last project, Tessera, I believe it is. Who else? Of course, King James. He another dope MC. Like, he put out a project with Kill. I didn't first hear him on that, but that's something that I definitely tapped into. Who else? Because I want to make sure.
That's a great project too.
Yeah, facts. Who else, man? It's so many of us, man, and everybody is tapped in. I hate to feel like I'm leaving anybody out, but it's just so many. Like it's so many. That's why I can't even dignify a motherfucker with a rebuttal when they talk about rap or hip hop is not in a good space, it's lacking, is this and that. No, just say you lazy and you want to be spoon fed by mainstream media. Like I could respect that more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's what it is. And that's cool because that's what we all come from. We spoiled to the point where the raw niggas was the mainstream back in the 90s and early 2000s.
Yeah.
The dope shit was in the mainstream. So I get it. But let's just say that you haven't evolved enough to the point to where you can't separate that and understand that time is over now. And you have to do a little bit more digging on your own to find what it is that you probably would like. You know what I'm saying? So I won't even dignify that shit with a response, really. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's crazy. It's an abundance of raw ass MCs out here doing what it is that they're doing. Like,
and
all of them
named about 15 from Chicago alone. And I'm pretty sure every major city, I know every major city got pockets of real killers on that mic. You know what I'm saying? And what I want to see is more, though. I want to see locally more support for those type of MCs, because I know let's say I'm like in Dallas, right? Like what gets pushed a lot is one certain sound, but there's shitload of MCs that are going bar for bar with niggas, but it's a whole different movement. You know what I mean? And I would like for the light to be shine on that a little more. But you're right, man. At this point, you're just being lazy if you can't find it. Moving forward, though, what do you have planned? What you got working on? What can people expect coming from I Am God in 2022?
Man, shout out Black Chidori too and his pops Monstar. They definitely be on their shit. I rock with them heavy too.
Me too.
As far as what I'm doing, I got a project coming. I told myself I wanted to do 3 for last year for 2021. I could have rushed the 3rd one and put it out in December, but I decided to, just I proved my point. I said I wanted to do 3. I got 2 out of 3. All right, cool. Because like I said, I've done more with more personal responsibility than I did when I ain't have that much responsibility. So I'm satisfied with that. And that let me know that I'm ready to do this shit and go hard with it. So,
but also Hell's Angels and Heaven's Demons still got legs. It's still, you know what I mean? It's new to a lot of people.
Exactly. And that's another thing to where it's like, okay, I don't want to just be putting out music just to say I put out such and such amount of projects either. You know what I'm saying? Like I wanted to have a purpose in it to have a meaning. I'm still getting motherfuckers getting reviews from the Eternal Reflection. A lot of people, like I kind of felt that on my own, but a lot of people was kind of like solidifying. Like I feel like as of right now, that's my crown jewel. I ain't gonna say that's the best one. I can't really rate them like that, but I say that's my crown jewel because I really stretched the level of creativity and I really had something to say of substance on that. So it's a lot of people still bringing that up. So that still got legs, you know what I'm saying? And it's, again, this is surprising to me because I ain't nobody yet, you know what I'm saying? And the way that we digest music is just it's so rapid. It's wasteful. You know what I'm saying? It's so wasteful and so rapid. So, I held back on the next joint. I'm still, you know what I'm saying, keeping quiet on the title and the producer and who I put it out here and there to certain people, but the rollout is coming. You know what I'm saying? It'll probably be coming in. I initially had plans for it in December, then initially had plans for it in like February, maybe March, but it's looking like it's gonna be April. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the label, Decay, Filthy Analects Recording Company. You know what I'm saying? We got some things coming. So we got to be a team player, you know what I'm saying? When it's your time to shine, then you up the bat, you know what I'm saying? Until then, you support everything else that's going on. So, we got the homie Water, you know what I'm saying? He finna drop Order of the Day, Return to the Cherry Tree, You know what I'm saying? You know, by that title, he talking some shit.
Yeah,
You know
right,
what I'm
right.
saying? And that's produced entirely by I think that's Tone Beats. So that's dropping next month. I think it's
coming out
February.
next month.
I believe it's February 16th, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So that's coming. We got a few more things coming out from Filthy. So no tentative date yet, but we saying April right now. But I mean, shit, the title is cool for the title. I'm gonna just say the producer too. The title of the project is gonna be called Murder Castle. You know what I'm saying? And for those unfamiliar, Murder Castle, I can't remember the dude now. I think it's H.H. Holmes. It was a dude. He's touted to be the world. I don't know if the world's America's first serial killer, some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So he basically had a hotel, like a mansion that doubled as like a hotel, and you know what I'm saying. It was reported that he killed like over 200 motherfuckers. There's some people that say his body count went that high. Some people say it probably was more, but it was during the time of the was it the World Fair? I think it was like the World Fair that was going on in Chicago. This is like 1800s. So no DNA, no none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like motherfuckers can never really say, but it's known to believe that like he killed over 200 motherfuckers, and he had like rooms, like soundproof rooms, like rooms that led to other rooms, like vats of acid laying around and shit to where the dismembering bodies, like crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to take that concept and like put it in some rap form, like how we talked about all these projects, like the Eternal Reflection, Hell's Angels, and Heaven's Demons, to where they have, like it's really thought out, and I got some serious shit to say. This one, I'm coming from motherfuckers' heads, bro. Like this is my time to let motherfuckers know. Like I done gave y'all the conceptual side of me. Y'all know I could do this. Y'all know I could tell these stories, and I'm not saying I'm done with that. But for this particular project, I'm letting motherfuckers know that I am a problem to be dealt with when it just comes to the bars and just coming to this thing we call rhythm and poetry, which is rap. Like I'm fucking motherfuckers up with this one. You know what I'm saying? And I brought a few homies along for the ride to help me do some of the fucking up. You know what I'm saying? So this one is like no holds bar. Like I put out a tweet like last year sometime, like where I said I'm coming to motherfuckers' crib, putting my dirty feet up, dirty shoes on the table, going in the refrigerator with dirty hands, pissing on the toilet seat, like just grimy shit. You know what I'm saying? That's what I meant when I said that. Like it's just some grimy shit. Like I'm talking my shit on this one. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking forward to the response, hearing what the people think of that one. But that's basically like staking my claim as one of the best niggas doing it. I feel like I've done it. Just letting the music speak for itself and letting the work show, as the homie Jay Smalls would say. But this one, I'm telling you, you know what I'm saying? If you didn't feel that way, I'm telling you, you know what I'm saying? So
I think that's dope, and that makes perfect sense because of where you went with the last two projects. You know, it might be time to let niggas know what, you know what I mean? And I think we all looking forward to it, man. You one of the, in my opinion, you know, you're one of the dopest lyricists in the game right now. The way you can go back and forth between those different worlds, man. You know, no doubt, man. And I appreciate you for coming on. I'm gonna at the end when I put this out, I'm gonna make sure I have the links to the music in the description. But for those that don't pay attention, let everybody know where they can find your music at.
Oh man, you could actually purchase everything via my Bandcamp. My Bandcamp is God's Gift, GAWDSGIFT.bandcamp.com. And we got everything on there. From you could buy the digital version, the regular shit of the all three projects. I'm out of CDs, and we never say it again.
You got vinyl too, right?
Yeah. I was just about to say I'm out of CDs, and I don't have vinyl for the first project, being I Am God. We never did vinyl for that. That might be something we look to do, you know what I'm saying, in the near future. But for the first project, we out of CDs, never did vinyl. Well, haven't done vinyl yet. As far as the Eternal Reflection, we still got CDs available, still got vinyl available. You can also, like I said, buy a digital version if you want to do that. Hell's Angels and Heaven's Demons. You can also buy the digital version, or you can buy CDs. The vinyl hasn't came yet. We had a few technical difficulties as far as the manufacturer. So we looking to receive the vinyl somewhere around summertime now. It was supposed to initially be around Christmas, the beginning of the year, but now we looking at June, maybe July. So as soon as we get the vinyl for Hell's Angels and Heaven's Demons, we'll definitely be shipping those out. I also got shirts, t-shirts on the Bandcamp. Just added them this past weekend. I Am God doing filthy shirts. You know what I'm saying? You can go grab those, $30 a shirt. You know what I'm saying? Shipping, all that is included. You can also get my music on almost anywhere you can stream music, whether that's Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, Pandora, you know, YouTube Music, whatever it is. Just search for I Am God. You know what I'm saying? And I'm there official. You know what I'm saying? So just looking to continue to move forward with the music, you know what I'm saying, and keep improving my craft and shit, keep giving motherfuckers what they want.
Yeah, man, I'm definitely a fan of the music, bro. I definitely appreciate the way you approach it, and just, you know, how you approach making music, man. I feel like your voice is very much needed, and I appreciate you for coming through the show. Whenever it's time, whenever the new joint drop, just come back, and then, you know what I'm saying, we'll let everybody know what's going on with the new album.
Gratitude, bro. I appreciate you, and I definitely love to do that, bro. Much respect and gratitude.
No, much respect to you, bro, man. You have a good one, G.
Yes, sir.
Peace.